friends, this is the only chance for me to use these beautiful clothes. You know, this is sari, the women's dress that consists of a long piece of textile that is wrapped around the body and worn mainly in India and Pakistan. But this is not the usual sari. This is the wedding sari that has a special drape in red and gold colors. Do I need it? Did I want to marry some person from India? No, not really. Do I still need it right now? No, because I recently got married with Vladislav Benchik. So, what's the reason for me to own these clothes? You know, I bought it 7 years ago when I was a tourist in India, and at that moment there was the wedding period in that country. Why? So why I bought it? You know, I was seduced with these beautiful colors and drape, and I knew that that was the only opportunity for me to buy these clothes. Only in India, only at that time, because I had to leave the next day. Only with that 50% discount, and only from that charming women that made me a present in the form of silk scarf a few days before that. But that was the trap. And I was a catch. A catch of the professional salesperson who turned out to be the richest person in her village, as I found later. So, dear friends, we need to take a look in the back corners of our closets. We need to take a look in the bottom boxes in our bathrooms. We need to take a look in the high and hard to reach cupboards in our kitchens. You know what I mean. And you know what lives in that places. The dress that still has a tag on it, the recommended cosmetics that was assumed to be the perfect match for you, but now you don't know whom to make a present, like that present, and the incredible multifunctional kitchen unit that was assumed to be the most important thing in your kitchen and to be used every day, but now you use it only once a month. Dear friends, we need to admit that we buy things that we don't need. So why do we say yes? Why we are caught on the hook? Today there are a lot of salesperson tricks that are applied to our everyday life to buy more, that are applied to our everyday life of our consumption. Sales. Yes, this is the main reason why I would like to buy a piece of clothes that has only one size smaller than I need. Maybe in 1 month I'll be a big teenager. The reciprocity rule. When someone gives you something and you want to pay back, it states that people should try to repay what other people just give to us. In other words, if someone gives you something for free, you feel that you have a debt and you want to get rid of that feeling, and you start to make an unequal exchange. For example, in the grocery store, someone gives a piece of food for free and you buy it, even though you were not planning to buy it otherwise. Then, sometimes we make commitments and then I want to be consistent. For example, you asked if you are gourmand of wine and you say, yes, sure, and then, you know, you want to be consistent and you had to buy the most expensive bottle of wine. Our herd instincts. You came to the cafe with your 4 other friends and you still don't know what to choose because you're not hungry. But everyone buys huge burgers. What you do? You do the same. Sometimes we are using the principle of liking. We prefer to say yes to people that we know and like. So let's assume a person that has a beautiful appearance that is from the same university as you, that likes the same sports, and even more, supports the same politician. Wow, you know what's that? You just got the best friend, and congratulations, you are the owner of Bitcoin. And you know, we are scared. We are scared to be limited in something. And this principle is also applied. When something is limited in availability, it is more valuable for us. So, some deadlines, some time limits, some limited availability makes us to buy right now. For example, tomorrow, the Black Friday, you can have the possibility to buy 3 lipsticks with the price of 1. Yes, and you will buy that 3 lipsticks or even 6. So, how to say no? How to stop buying things that we don't need? First of all, we need to know what we really need. We need to realize it and make the reasons for that. Second, we need to understand that unnecessary things do not bring us happiness. The stuff doesn't bring us happiness. And next time we need to reconsider a few last things that have no value for us. Then we need to understand that money brings us opportunities and extra stuff limits us. And we can save money and apply that for our self-development or education that has a better value for us. Then we can use cash, never use the debt financing, because this is also a psychological trick for us to buy more. Then we need to take time. We need time to reconsider what we buy, and we need to take time to understand if this piece of stuff is valuable for us. Also, we need to make a budget and put only that things that are valuable for us, and not to buy anything else. We don't need to care about other people's thoughts about ourselves and about what we buy. So, while we don't buy things we don't need, we can feel better about ourselves because we can be more financially secure. We will think better about our house because it will be better organized and well structured. We can think better and rely on ourselves more because we will not make decisions only on emotions but also on some reasons. So I decided to stop buying bad things, and I decided to develop the habit to buy things that have high value for me, that are frequently used, and that bring me joy and happiness. So, dear friends, get out of the trap and live a happy life.
And make us to attend their classes even if you thought that the subject is not interesting for you. And do everyone have such teachers in your school, university, college? Yeah, I had two. It was Alexander Gorodnik. He was the vice rector of the law college where I was studying, and he read a course of labor law. And his classes were different from other classes. Every class he started from a joke or anecdote or just a story of from his life connected with the topic of this class, and also really interesting. Also he gave us cases, real-life cases, but at that time when I was studying the word cases was not so popular as now, and at that time it calls just a practical task to solve. But it was different because we learned real life situation and tried to solve them according to law. And he encouraged us not only to learn parts of laws, but to start to thinking and to know how to solve the case, concrete case. And also it was a great thing about the stories of his life. He told them so bright with gestures, with emotions, and many of them I still remember now. And now as a Toastmaster I realized that at that time I had not only a course of labor law, but also some kind of training of storytelling. And this man, he has not easy life. He was from not a rich family, from some far village. He finished a law school, then he had a military service in some part of north part of Russia, in USSR, in the Arctic zone. Also he had a service in Afghanistan, and when he graduated from Taras Shevchenko University from law faculty, he had a good opportunity to stay here and became a scientist in law. And he needs only one thing for this. He needed, at this time in USSR, he needed a registration in Kiev, but he had any opportunity to get it at that time. That's why he didn't become a scientist and didn't have a good, such maybe bright career as other his student mates from his course. But his lectures, his classes were really remarkable and encouraged especially me to apply to academia, to the Persecuted Academy, and to give good points at exams. And was he a really successful man? Maybe he thought that he wasn't himself. But what do we know about what mattered to other people? Is it only a bright result, a bright success that we can show to other people? Or even what we do and how we do is also can help other people to understand something, to maybe to motivate them, to help them to set some goals and to reach them. And if someday you will stuck on something, or maybe you will want to give up and stop doing something, just think about it. Maybe the way you do, the way you're doing, can help others, and maybe it helps you also to go on, to carry on, and to have a good result in what are you doing. Thank you.
I raised in Troyeshina, in the very last apartment of a big apartment building. Apartment number 390, which meant I lived in the 15th floor. And I remember I was like climbing up to the balcony where everyone smokes for some reason, but I was a small child. I was like maybe 6 or 7, and I climbed up and I jumped. But I think I saw myself from the ground, and I was like falling, and I started to fly forward. But then, so I guess it was a dream. I guess it was a dream, but I'm not sure. That was the most crazy part. I remembered it when I was maybe 15, and I thought, wait, did it happen or was it a dream? Because I couldn't decide. But based on some factual inconsistencies, I may be pretty sure it was a dream. So yes, I had one. But what important, not important, but interesting thing about that is that most children have flying dreams, and we stop having them. Isn't that a bit tragic? Would you like to have flying dream today? I think it would be pretty cool. So maybe if you tap into your inner child, if you imagine the spitting image of yourself as a child, you would be able to fly again. Thank you very much.
So interesting that the table topic master just guessed that this is something which I would love to speak, because I really believe in dreams, and I do believe that they can help. Moreover, through my life, I developed my own patterns of the dreams. When I see something, then I can say that something is going to happen, and I do believe in this. let me share just some of these patterns. For example, I know that if in my dream I see any kind of transportation, it can be train, it can be plane, it can be car, any kind of transportation, and I actually get to this, either it's a bus or train, on time. So it means that whatever I'm thinking about, it can be, sometimes I can think about doing something and I have doubts whether I should start it, whether I don't, but then I know if I'm there and I see a spitting image of myself sitting on the seat, I don't know how to use that. However, if I see myself in this transport, if I take a seat, in the morning I'm saying to myself, go for it. You will succeed in it. Thank you.
I had an exam. It was in my first university. And I really studied a lot because I was an excellent student. I was the best student of my group and I had to keep up to date to that spitting image of maybe, I don't know who. It was a medal, you know. And I really studied for 3 days, non-stop. Before the exam, my plan was to go to sleep. Tomorrow in the morning I have to get up at 7, and at 8:30 I have to be at the university already. And I just couldn't fall asleep. It's 1 o'clock at night, I'm lying, thinking about some ship, thinking about some ship on the sea, cruise maybe, thinking about my exam, and I just can't fall asleep. At 2 o'clock at night I started reading the book. I started repeating because I thought if I can't sleep I should use that time with some use, with something positive. Next morning everything was fine. I woke up in a nice mood and it was 9 o'clock. My exam started half an hour ago. So I was just so furious that I took the watch because I set the alarm clock. And I took that watch with the alarm clock that didn't work, and furious I threw it over the wall, against the wall, and in my flat there is still a mark on that place, with some green in it, because the watch was green. And I rushed to the place, I rushed to my exam. My grandfather, who was helping me at all exams, as an assistant, it's a different story, I'll tell you once, but he was waiting for me for 1 hour. And I didn't have the mobile phone at that time, so nevertheless I passed the exam, I got 5. I had some time, yes, when I came, but still I wish you to not to be too nervous and too excited about something, and sleep well.
I like to read kids' stories, so that's the question.
You have creepy kid stories?
Before I go to bed. Some people say that this is my spitting image. I think it's pretty close. And he likes stories. And the story he likes is Calvin and Hobbes, the comic strips. It's kind of funny. It's about a boy and his pet tiger. The pet tiger is just a stuffed tiger to everybody else, but to him it's his best buddy in the world. Also his worst enemy because the tiger tackles him every day when he comes home from school. And Calvin has a favorite bedtime story himself. Every night he asks his dad to read Hamster Huey and the Gooey Kablooey. And his dad goes, "Oh no, not Hamster Huey again." And it's the same story over and over again. And sometimes Calvin is very surprised because he says, "I didn't know that Hamster Huey had that happen to him, had an experience of jumping out a window and dying and never being told again." So Dad kind of took liberties. However, I'll have to say that with Calvin and Hobbes, do I tell the story like it is, Eddie? Do I tell the story just like it is? And how many years have I been reading you Calvin and Hobbes? About 2 years. So he's had the same bedtime stories over and over for 2 years. Are you tired of them? That's a bedtime story.
much during the day. There are a lot of people I meet sometimes, so mostly they are really nice meetings, nice events. But then 10 p.m. comes. And between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. I can say nothing what is happening around. I see nothing in my dreams. I just like switched off. You know, I woke up, for example, today at 6, and so, oh, there is a boy lying near me. Whether he's in pyjama. When I was falling asleep, he was in some different dress. Then he woke up and asked, he's searching for something. I asked, what do you search? But Mama, don't you remember we were hiding our raccoon in bed? I remember nothing. And controversially, 5 minutes to 10 p.m. when I'm still alive, I come to small boy bed and say, oh my dear son, let it be, you see some dreams about donkeys or rabbits, something really peaceful, nice. And then this boy always says me something like, thank you, Mama, but better, you will see some, Darth Vader, and I will see other Siths. So that's about probably when you have so much time and so much some events during the day, somehow then it lacks the stories in the night. And I hope you all have balance between your day dreams and day events and night dreams.
San Francisco up to Portland, Oregon, where the two of us had gone to school, and we had gone to college, and we had both dropped out. I said, Stan, that's a foolhardy thing to do. I won't loan you my motorcycle, but we'll go together on my motorcycle. So two of us, on this rainy weekend in November, drove 1,500 kilometers up to Portland, just long enough to sleep and turn around. And they were building a highway, a 4-lane highway up there. Except they didn't have it all done, so it's 2 lanes, 4 lanes, 2 lanes, 4 lanes, 2 lanes. On the way back, I tapped him on the shoulder and said, Stan, I think we're on one of those 2-lane sections, better move over. And just as we moved over, a big truck came out of the fog going the other way. So that's something I'll remember all my life.
Really, Graham. Thank you so much.
Well, the day came, we went to the airport, private pilot's area. I was drinking, he wasn't. He took us up, I was a little bit scared. We got up into the plane, and he looked around and said, I don't like these clouds. What do you mean you don't like these clouds? You're the pilot. I can't fly in these clouds. So we went up, we circled, we came straight back down again. That was my story of going up in a private plane. That was it.
I would like to invite to the stage Irina Dmitrieva and to present this ribbon to a table topic winner. Let's announce you and Irina.
Okay.
Yeah. The winner of table topic section is Irina. One more photo for our class.
Oh.
Show the ribbon.
Oh, sorry.